Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 122 HD 45 hedge trimmer. Customer wants a tune-up, but as you'll see in this video, one thing leads to another. It's just this whole series of little problems that happen in this video. And towards the end, you're going to see also what you can do if your engine runs but the tines just won't reciprocate back and forth. So we'll take a look into that a little later. Right away we get into this one, we take a look in the fuel tank and things look great. You don't always have to dig right down into the tank with a flashlight to see what's going on. You know, if you got a clear tank and you illuminate the outside, it's pretty easy to see what's going on inside the tank when you look through the hole. So we've installed a factory fresh Husqvarna spark plug in this machine, and we're going to take a look at the air filter. Now the only reason I didn't replace the fuel filter on here is because I had to order one. It's not a standard filter. It has a pair of long wicks on it that wick up the fuel, and then it's pulled up through the fuel hose. So we're just going to look around a little bit on here and see what else is going on. The handle looks like it's decent, not broken or loose or anything like that. We're going to pump some grease into the gearbox as a regular service. You know, I might get a lot of questions about what type of grease to put in there. I don't know the specifications on the grease, except that that white tube I'm bumping in is the grease Husqvarna supplies. You'll see a little later in the video that there's all kinds of colors of grease inside this gearbox. Sometimes you drop things, right? Alright, we have our gearbox greased. Now we're going to see if it runs. We did our little mini tune-up. I mean, I started thinking to myself I was going to clean the air intake afterwards, but I know better. We should, if the cooling intake is blocked with leaves and debris, I don't want to be running it. So this is something you should do on your hedge trimmer. From the bottom side, it draws in cooling air up to the flywheel and then blows it over the fins of the cylinder. And what happens is people run these things low to the ground or even on top of bushes that got leaves on them, whatever. And that debris draws up into the cooling opening on the bottom and gets plugged up underneath this cover, and I mean, you're going to cook the motor if you can't get any fresh air in there. So we blew it out. There wasn't much in there. Now we're going to fire it up and see how it runs. Starting. It's not wanting to do anything, actually. So I'm going to have to dig into it a little bit deeper and do some investigating. First I got to be a little bit stubborn and keep pulling on it some more. So one thing I need to look at is the spark arrestor screen on the muffler. It's part of the tune-up procedure anyway, so now's as good a time as any to put an eyeball on it. and see if a plugged spark arrestor screen is the reason that this won't start. There's the screen. There's just a single screw that holds it in, but it's not plugged up. There's no problem with it at all. But you know, you work on equipment long enough and you just get a feel for where you should start sniffing around. So I'm going to pull this muffler off of here and start sniffing around in there. This tube is just an extension to direct the exhaust away from the hedges that you have the trimmer over the top of. So it'll blow all the exhaust out the front. Well, would you look at that?
That is a problem.
It's a lot of gas. And it don't belong there. We're going to pull the cord and try and clear this flooded condition. Maybe even try and start it. Are you catching that action? The cutter bars are not reciprocating. That's not helping the situation trying to get the motor to rev up, because it just won't. Once the clutch engages and it can't push the bars, it won't rev up. So we're going to put things back together on the muffler and our discharge tailpipe here. Then we're going to start digging into why those cutter bars won't move. Alright, there's 6 bolts that hold this cover down. There's only one pin on there, and it's located between my thumb and forefinger. And if you just lift the front half a little bit and wiggle it around, you can work the cover right off the top of that pin. Now, if we look inside, we see that I actually did a pretty good job of pumping that grease in there, just squeezing it out of the bottle. And that gearbox is full of grease. Now this piece right here looks like a connecting rod, and that is what they call it. And it runs from the gear to the end of the reciprocating cutting arm. Now that arm seems to be bound up. I couldn't really move it, so we're going to loosen all the screws and see if it's a screw issue. And that thing's still moving really hard. That should just slide back and forth. Right there, it kind of broke loose, like maybe there was some pitch or sap caught in between the teeth that were just binding it. And that's all it really takes, that small engine and that way that gearbox is made. It can't overcome that. Now this lube that I'm putting on here is natural lanolin based, and we've never had any problems with it destroying plant life. so we don't use petroleum-based lubricants. So we're going to tighten the screws on the cutter head back down, or the cutter bars. And we test it. Yeah, the cutter moves back and forth a lot easier than it did before we started. This gasket is, it is what it is. We'll put it back on there. And then we're going to manually fill any voids that don't have grease in them. I mean, why guess pushing it through the cover when we can see where it needs grease? We'll put this connecting rod back on. And if it doesn't line up, you just move the cutter until it drops into place. Now, if you need to take the cutters off, those are the steps you would follow. You would pull the, clean some more grease out of there, loosen a couple screws that are underneath my hand there right now, and you could lift those cutter bars out of the body of the Hedge trimmer. Cover goes back on, screws go back in. And after that, we're going to try and start it again. Probably don't need to be watching all this monkey business, do we? I think you get the idea. Turn the screw and tighten the bolt. That fired right up. Cutters are moving freely. Just that little bit of oil I put on there really made a difference. Whatever you saw me doing there with my hand off camera, I'm sure it wasn't touching the cutters. And I don't want you doing it. Alright, as long as we got it running, and we know it was adjusted the way rich, we're going to investigate that a little bit and adjust it properly. And yes, even though it's a 2-cycle, multi-position carburetor and all that good stuff, it's going to run different upside down than it does like this. You notice as soon as I flipped it over, the idle came down a little bit. So what's going on here? It's always something, ain't it? So I noticed that earlier when I was running it, that making a weird ticking noise. And that was kind of bothering me, what that could be, and if it had some reason, you know, to do with the way it was running. But as it turns out, that clicking noise was just the, well, I don't want to spoil it. Hang on. Well, right there. It was just rubbing a little bit on the edge of that plastic. Now I can see on the plastic that it was touching. And I don't have the muffler guard plastic on right now. Even though that's not on there, that really doesn't have any effect on where this lands or the position it's in. There's no screws that are common between the two, or no pads or perches that are common between the two. They just run right next to each other. So it really had nothing to do with that gray plastic cover that my thumb is on right now. There you go. Husqvarna 122 HD 45 mini tune-up, clickety plastic noise fix, and what to do if your cutters won't move. Thanks for watching. Later.